Right guys, welcome back to another video. It's Ben here from B Electrical. We are in, thankfully it's a sunny Saturday. We're going over a few bits. If you would have been watching my Instagram stories and social media, you'd have seen that I was having a small rant about an outdoor lighting installation. And as well as a few other discrepancies in this area. So what we're doing today, you can see me behind, we've got this sort of like sunken seating area, which are installing some heaters. So it's not the best choice of heaters. The heaters were previously purchased, but unfortunately they are suited for an indoor area that opens up to the outdoors, so like a conservatory or a rear extension with the doors open. So they're infrared heaters, they're really good looking, and we had one mounted up on the chimney breast. Just wasn't kicking off enough heat, so there was two more in the garage. So what I've done is I've hung them on some jack chain to bring them down over the seating area. But with the power that's installed there at the moment, we don't have enough scope to add them to it. So luckily, we've got a few spare lighting circuits, and considering these are only 11 amps, they're only 2.6 kilowatts. We're going to downrate these circuits from 16 amp from the board down to 13 amp through a few spur, join the T&E onto some 1.5 armoured, and feed these units. They are controlled with remotes, so one remote control will turn on all three units, and that way we've got no sort of external switching or timers to turn them on and off. So we've got Leighton with us today, so he's approached me on Instagram and wants to shadow, so he's come down here to help me this morning. He's been making off some armoured, and we're just going to get some whisker boxes in the armoured cable mounted up, and then connect up the lights and work backwards into the fuse board area. So I'll take you over there, we'll have a look at the heaters, and yeah, we'll show you what we're getting into today. So we're in the sunken seating area. You can see Leighton's behind me, connecting up the whisker box. So we've got here, there's 3 Herschel Summits. Like I said before, they're 2.6 kilowatts each. And so you can see the seating areas are to the outside. So we've hung them on some jack chain to get them down, and hopefully it will keep everybody nice and toasty. There is one just up here over the top of the fireplace, which does kick out some heat, but only if you're sort of standing in front of it. So hopefully this will you know, keep it warm in this area, because there's quite a lot of air movement through. So yeah, we've already got some whisker boxes mounted up on the side of the timbers here, so we're just going to add another 2 for these connections. Luckily we've got quite a nice neat pass through over the top of the stone to get the cable out to the whisker box, and then we're going to be taking the SWA on this side down and through to the connection, and on that side we're going to be going over the top and down around the flower beds to keep the cable hidden. So yeah, let's get into the installation and we'll see you guys in a bit. So we're going to come up this column, and we've clipped it along this timber, going underneath the other side where Leighton is now, just making that connection. So all we've got to do now is fix it to the column in a straight line down the mortar line, and then we are going to tack it around the bottom of the sleeper and bring it all the way around to the connection. Okay, so we've brought the cable down the column, and we're now going to start clipping it to the base of the sleeper. It is going to be visible. It's just too many ups and downs going into the flower beds and dropping down for steps and then drilling through and coming back up flower beds, and it's old soil, it's compact. So this is the route that we're going to take. So we've got 2 types of cable clips here. So we've got the small cable clip, which is, you know, for general general flex. And we've got here some Hellman Titan clips, which are a bit more heavy duty. They come with a large nail for SWA. And so we're going to be we've used the small clips up the top, but just because this may come into contact with, the wheels of the lawnmower or something like that, while the garden maintenance is being carried out, we're going to go for the more heavy duty clips. And this is going to span down the whole side of this sleeper and return up the flower bed into the join. So yeah, we're going to get these spaced out. We're going to get them clipped, and then what we'll probably do is when we get to that area, we're going to be quite close to looking at the other heater being joined and run as well. So we'll jump onto the other heater. Leighton's just making off the SWA over there, and then yeah, we'll be taking both cables back to the area and getting them joined through. So on the corner of the sleeper here, obviously the corner of the sleeper is a much tighter bend radius than the SWA allows. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the multi-tool, we're going to take a section at the bottom corner of the sleeper to allow the cable to go in and the radius be within the sleeper. So that'll minimize how much you actually see the cable. So as you can see, now we can lose the bend within the timber. So just before I drive it home, just want to make sure that over here our cable is straight. Because if I pull too much that way, there we go, that looks good. Because it's swooping down and there's no fixings behind this bush. So now that's in place, we can drive this fixing home. And I know that my cable over there is in the right place. Right, so now that first fixing's in place, we're just gonna take our cable underneath that bit of timber that we've, So we're just gonna take our cable underneath that bit of timber that we removed, get another one of these large fixings. And what I'm going to do is, just for aesthetics, I'm going to replicate it with the same distance away, so when you actually catch this corner, it will visually be appealing. Right, so there's one thing with having these speakers just firing straight into the wall. Having a look at inside subwoofer, full of water and full of mud. So I have to try and give that a clean out, and then try and seal this duct. Try and seal this duct back up and give it a clean, because no doubt that's affecting performance. And then we'll clip, once Leighton's done down there, we'll just clip this armoured all the way around, and then we will get it over to the connection point. So this is the dreaded connection point that we've spoken about so much. So we'll be taking the armours into here and joining onto 2 spare circuits that we will then identify indoors and position onto new circuits and down rating to 13 amp by means of a unswitched fuse spur to get these heaters all up and running. So it's going well. Not too long and I reckon we'll have these heaters on, and then we're going to look at some other little bits today as well. And fingers crossed it doesn't rain. Go in and see what we can remove from this subwoofer duct. So wonder how long that's been in there for. Most of the sediment removed, but I don't know how I'm going to get rid of water. Right, where was we? Let's see. Right. Let's soak up what we can. Squeeze it out. Yeah, that'll do. So what we'll do, take our friend's big wipes and we will just clean the base of the duct.
This is off then, yeah?
Yeah, we'll take off the right hand side.
It's all turned off inside.
Yeah, the lights are off. Okay. And then what we'll do is, I'll give him that a wipe. I'm going to use some Vaseline spray. Which is a maintenance spray that we normally use on metal, which is an anti-oxidation and lubrication. And then I'll just get a new wipe. And wipe off the top. Okay, so now we're getting to the part where we have our armoured cable here, which has been put in place for the heaters. We've made off the connections to the heaters, and now we're at this box here. So for those of you that have seen on my social media, I had a big rant about this the other day. And so what's been done by the previous electrician is they've brought a load of twin and earth through to this point here, and then they've joined them through to their armors. So there's a garage just behind me down the end there, and they've come through with a 10mm T&E, and they've crimped it to an armored, and they've chucked that down to the garage. Similarly with, by the looks of things, this might be the hot tub, the swimming pool plant room supply, and then all the lights, for example, they've all come to this point here. Luckily for us, we've got 2 spare 1.5s here. So yeah, all the SWAs for the garden lighting, they terminate here. And as you can see, we've got some serious corrosion here. This is why I use the Vaseline spray. And the Vaseline spray protects and lubricates these metal parts from the outside. A quick spray while you're doing these up, and once you finish to coat them, will protect those. It will stop the moisture reacting with the metal and either corroding or rusting. So what they've done, I mean, as you can see, not even any earth sleeving. They've just wagoed these through. They've crimped these through. No identification on the cables on the SWA side. Now I can confirm that these SWAs, they're not earthed. The steel wide armor is not earthed on this side. Neither is on any other side. So down in the pool area, underneath the pool and the decking, they're just literally cut and put into stuffing glands. So all of these armors here are not earthed. We have fly leaded and we have earthed the steel wide armor in our whisker boxes, which means that these will have an earth once they're connected. So I do not need to earth them at this end. Again, it's good practice to earth them at both ends in case one end fails. But I'm very, very happy with the terminations that we've made up there, so we won't be making any terminations here. We'll just be fixing it to this plastic box.
That's it. Try both the cables, both ways round.
All right, let me go and get something, and we'll try something else. So what we're trying to do now is we're just trying to find these cables. We've used a continuity tester on some obvious cables that we can see within the panel. Have been able to find them. So I am using here the ideal tone generator and the amplifier probe. Effectively, turn this unit on and it generates a tone. And the amplifier will pick it up. So what we're going to do here, we've got one of our cables. We're going to go onto 2 of the cores. So we're going to take one onto the line, one onto the earth. Now some of these circuits are still live, so we've got some interference. So I don't know if you can pick that up, but then what we'll do now is we're going to go inside, and then hopefully we should be able to pick up the circuit with the wand.
That's our load.
Yeah, so this one here, do you want to just put the toner back on that? So now we've identified that load. What we'll then do is we'll disconnect it from there. The earth should be put away in there. We'll go and do a live earth at the cable outside. Then we'll be able to use a continuity tester and confirm that's the cable. Yeah, then we can pull it out from here. So it's just a spare cable, so this load won't be programmed into the system, into the control force system, so that never gets switched on. How's it looking?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Continuity test.
I've stuck the tone generator on the other cable, so you should be able to pick up using the tone.
What, on the same cable that we did the continuity test?
No, so the other cable that we're looking for.
Right, okay, yeah.
So it should be down the bottom as well. Which one seems more prominent?
Definitely this one, R215.
Yeah. So I'm going to go outside.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and disconnect it.
Yeah. R215. Positive Earth test. Life to Earth. Continuity test successful.
How are we looking?
Yeah, good.
Yeah?
We're there. So, Earth to life.
So what we do, we go between the line and then the Earth, CPC, carry out test, greater than 299, so that means that they're clear, their condition the cables of those two cores is good. So greater than 299 between CPC and neutral, and then we'll go between neutral and line. What this does, it throws 500 volts down the line, and this is detecting in milliohms resistance down the cable. In passing that and getting greater than 299 on all three scenarios means that we're happy to put that cable into service. Yeah, so we do the exact same on this other circuit here. Greater than 299.
And if you weren't, then you'd have to run a new cable.
Exactly.
Or find the fault.
Well, no, because this is literally a cable from here to there, there's nothing in between. It's not like it's a socket circuit where there could be a few sockets in the circuit that could be causing the problem. This is literally just testing the cable. So if this failed, it means that the cable's no good and it needs a new cable.
And how do you determine
So
why
look,
you put 500 volts?
So for example here, if I put those together to simply, to be a dead short, it stops right there and tells you that you've got a short. Yeah. And again, so if you take that off, all the way around, you know it's clear.
Okay.
So just a little update because time is pushing on. We have connected the armoured to the twin earth within the box. The box is all done up now, but what we have done is we've put earth sleeving on all of those joints, redone the Wago terminations, and as you can see there, we've brought in our armoureds there, left some nice loops on them to go up in there, and then we can just bring back some of the dirt. And again, once all the greenery grows, it will cover that all anyway, but Leighton's done a nice job of clipping that all the way round. And then that is all the water that I took out from that subwoofer channel. We've drilled it through sleeper and then up into the whisker. And then this side, I'm going to wait until either it's rained a bit or we'll wet the soil, but that is, it's too hard to dig. So for the time being, you can see we've clipped it along there. We've drilled through the sleeper at an angle to get it up to the next level, and we just laid it and then gone around the steam room. But again, drilled it through the sleeper all the way down, and then 400mm intervals all the way down to our heaters. So we've got them on the jack chains there, so it's 1 heater, 2 heaters, 3 heater, and so literally now Leighton is just terminating the unswitched fuse spurs. Once they're put away, we've then just got to clip the T&E to the board, drop it into the trunking, into the fuse board, new RCBOs, and away we go. Well, a test first and away we go. But come on, we all know that I will liven up the circuit before carrying out any tests. The client is having a small gathering tomorrow, so now I know why he really wanted me to come and get these on. So he'll be glad to see, well, I know he wants to see what type of heat they're kicking out. So yeah, I'll be glad to get them on and get him down in this area just to feel, that it's a bit warmer than it was before. He has already said that moving forward, because we know they're not ideal for this scenario, that we might swap these out and put them at the top of the columns. So I put them at the top of the columns, angling down. But again, these have been paid for like nearly 2 years ago now. Best part of nearly 1,200 quid. Well, yeah, just over £1,200. So we may as well get them up and fitted and see what's happening before, you know, going down other avenues. They may, you know, do the job, and if so, happy days, because I mean, they look nice. The client did say, you know, why did we drop them down and not fix them up to the beam? But because of the colour of them, they would have looked nice up against the beam. But when I closed the roof and the fabric sags, the whole of that fitting gets quite warm. And what I didn't want was them to be on and to someone to open it and then it melt, because it's only sort of like PVC, and then it to melt the roof. Didn't want that, so that's why I've dropped them down. And also because it's, you know, less distance for the heat to travel. You know, it is only sort of 300-400 mil, but when the wind's going, it's, you know, these are going to perform a lot better being closer down than they would up to the top. So fingers crossed we get a good result. Oh, they're alright as long as they're closed. Right, power is done. Look at him, he's happy as hell. Right, ready? On L1, level up, level 2. Right, so that one's on. There we go, that one's on, and boom, all 3 heaters are on. But right, we're going to let these heat up. As you can see, it has started chucking it down. Perfect timing.
So what's the options? What's going to happen there?
Well,
You've got to fix the roof.
They've got to fix the roof, and 2, we're gonna change these.
So still, it's not a waste of time because
It's not a waste of time because we need to get the power there.
yeah, fine.
But yeah,
So we're good.
yeah.
So the hard work's not wasted.
The hard work's not wasted, but yeah. So he came out and he wasn't smiling. So
Okay.
as you can see here, the it's not waterproof. And what we've got is, you can see there, the water is coming through the timber. Even with them being off, there's just going to be sitting water on top of them. So it's not ideal. So that's a case of, one, the structure needs to be sorted out in terms of waterproof. I mean, even here we've got, you know, water that's been, you know, dripping from up there. Again, here the water's leaking, so on the side here it's wet. Both seating positions, I mean, you could never sit here because again it's just sopping wet. So as Leighton said, the hard work has been done, so it wasn't a wasted job. Yeah, it wasn't a wasted job, but it's unfortunate that they're not staying up and they're not going to be in use, and they are coming out. So it's just not ideal. But there we go. I mean, look. But yeah, what can I say? That is the nature of the beast. Leighton's already got one disconnected, smashed it. So I'm going to help out, get the other one done, and I don't know, I guess we'll see you next time when we're putting up the new heaters. Oh, peace. see here.